Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. JE here on Awakening Dawn. How are you guys doing? Bringing you, as the title says, one of our planets. Well, we have 4 planets going retrograde. So we have Jupiter, we have Saturn, we have Pluto, and we have Venus. So I'm recording a video on each of the planets going retrograde. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I can't tell you the degrees of this and that and stars and where everything's going to be sitting and all that kind of stuff. I'm not an astrologer. I read cards, okay? And I'm very intuitive and somewhat psychic as well. I feel like I'm a psychic. But enough on that. The reason why I wanted to do this reading, and I don't often do these type of readings when planets are going retrograde, but I feel like it's important because of this crisis, this global crisis that we all are facing. Okay, and it has affected us as a whole. Okay, whether it has affected someone we know personally, whether it has affected us in our pockets, whether it has affected us mentally, whether it has affected us spiritually, whatever capacity that it has affected us. Okay, but it has affected us, this global pandemic, and some of us, we are still in this global pandemic right now. It is April 20th that I'm recording this video, and we will still be affected in this global pandemic even in the month of May. And this sign that I'm about to do a card reading on is planet is Pluto. So Pluto is going retrograde April 25th. Okay, so in a couple days, this sign will be, I keep saying sign because that's what I read, signs. But this planet will be going retrograde. And it will be retrograde for some time. It looks like it may be going direct in October, the first week of October. So when a planet goes backward or retrograde, right, an astrologer will tell you how far that planet is from the sun and the moon and all of that, and what all of that, means. I can't tell you that. What I'm telling you is I want to read the cards, the energies around that planet going retrograde, because again, we are in a time where we are oppressed, we are depressed, we feel somewhat suppressed, right? And if I didn't say it, oppressed. But there's a lot going on for us in life, right? Pluto deals with fear. It deals with death. It deals with spirituality. It deals with money. It deals with secrets. It tests one's beliefs. It tests one's strengths. And it also can provide an awakening. Now, that's what this pandemic has brought. So if we're still kind of in this global crisis, right? Trying to work our way out of this global crisis, and this planet that is going retrograde on the 25th in a couple days, to me, there's some synchronicities there. There is something of importance there. So we want to discover what that is, so that by the time this thing starts to move direct, this planet moves direct, we have learned the lesson we needed to learn in order to move forward, right? I'm sure all of you can take a lesson out of everything that has happened in this pandemic, in this global crisis. I know I have my own personal that I may share at some point. Well, actually, I will share at some point, because why wouldn't I share that? That's the purpose of me being on this channel, on this platform, to be as real and authentic with you guys as I can possibly be, right? So at some point I will do that. So going in direct, talks about redoing something, reanalyzing, rebuilding. It's the reason why this planet is going retrograde is because of we are in a crisis of fear, death, money, secrets, right? The spirituality or the beliefs have been tested. The strengths have been tested. And for some, it has truly brought on a spiritual awakening. Okay? The oracle cards, before I get into the cards that I pulled, and I pulled a total of 5. You have the Phoenix. So I shuffled and I pulled what Spirit wanted me to pull. And you have the Phoenix, which talks about surrendering to change. It talks about resurrection. So we are trying to rise above the ashes, so to speak. We are trying to surrender to the change. I know when I go into the stores now and you see all this 6 feet distance 6 feet, and everyone has on masks. I feel like not everyone has on masks, and not everyone has on gloves. The ones that I feel like truly should have on gloves are the people that touch our food, the people that touch things that we touch. So if we're going to do this, it needs to be across the board. I went to one restaurant and they had the glass right there so that you couldn't be in their face, but yet they're behind and they're cooking with no gloves on and no mask on, no hats on. So I feel like it's a double-edged sword. So we need to look at this thing a little bit different. And with Pluto going in direct, I feel like that's what society, that's what America, that is what the globe, the universe, we're looking at things differently. We have to. Right? I went and delivered a package to FedEx, and the way they did it that particular day, I don't know if this is what's going to change. I'm sure every business is trying to figure out their new norm, how they are going to rectify things from this point moving forward, right? How things are going to change. So Pluto going in direct, again, has brought on a sense of fear. We're dealing with fear now. Death, it brought on death. It brings on death. Things must die in order for things to be recreated. Many things have been lost. Money, okay, so people have lost their jobs. The economy has taken a big loss to a lot of things. The market, the stock market has taken a loss to things. Secrets, there's things that are coming out, will come out, I'm sure. And the test of one's beliefs, I'm sure so many of us has lost somewhat of doubt. You may have had a sense of where your faith has been shaken, especially if you lost a job. You lost a loved one, your faith has been shaken. And in this is where, even when you are the most strongest person, this could weaken you. You follow me? And again, your beliefs may change now. What you once believed in, you may no longer believe in that. You may have had this epiphany. So again, rising above the ashes, the Phoenix talks about rise above the ashes, surrendering to change. Okay. The next one you have is the Queen of Light. You have the Queen of Light. So this is talking about, and it says illumination, enlightenment. It also talks about celebration. So what a day when we can celebrate when this is all over and know it's not going to be back to the way things were before this global crisis, but it will be a beautiful thing when you can just be free. When you can be free. Freedom is a powerful tool, and know that you're free and can do, I don't want to say as you please, but definitely in your leisure, I would say. That's a beautiful thing. When you feel a sense of releasing, okay? This thing has brought on illumination. I feel like with Pluto being in retrograde, it's illuminating something. It's lightening. It's putting a sense of light around things that we take for granted. Fear, death, money, things that we try to keep hidden. Now things are coming out. People's faiths are being shaken in this thing, okay? So some have brought on enlightenment. I've seen people that aren't even in politics do things that are political to help the economy. I've seen people that have come together in certain communities to try to help the community and outside of the community. I've seen a sense of coming together in this situation. And I think more people will realize this during this time of re-evaluating things during this Pluto being direct. The cosmos. Okay, so this is the heavens. What's in the heavens? Definitely creativity and vastness. So this is a time where, in this time, we're going to have to figure out how to be creative. And I feel like many people were creative during this global pandemic in terms of, making masks. Major companies, we couldn't get masks, and you had people that were taking out their sewing machine making masks. Okay, you had people on YouTube trying to teach people how to do good breathing exercises to help you breathe so you don't get sick. So I feel like the vast reached out to America, or to the globe, not just America, because it was in different countries as well, but to the vast, to the globe, to help, help one another. And this is a pulling together. This is a pulling together. It's not about black and white. It's not about green and yellow. It's not about Republican or Democrat at this point. It's about coming together and let's unite. All right. So what your beliefs may be, Pluto's going direct. Your beliefs, your politics, what you may have once believed. I know me, I watch one news station all the time, but I got sick of that news station and switched over to this other news station that I don't watch typically, but I felt like they was giving me more answers, because we want answers, right? We don't want to keep hearing about the death toll. We don't want to keep hearing about there's no test. We don't want to keep hearing about that. There's other things that American people want to hear. So I feel like the politics is going to change. I feel like in this retrograde, again, people's beliefs, what they believe in, what they once believed in, they may be shifting that. There's a lot of shifts that's going on in the cosmos right now. And there will be during this retrograde. The next oracle message you have is motivation. Now, I'm feeling two energies with this, because I feel like some of you, your motivation has decreased drastically. You have become so dull, dull in when you're one that is driven, you're one that's motivated. And some of you, it's just like this thing has weighted you down. You have become like, I don't know what to do. I'm dull. I don't know what to do right now. And I feel like, for some of you, this, it has weighted you down. And for some of you, it has sparked something in you that you will become creative. You will become motivated to do something to better the world. Not just yourself, but the world. Some of you are birthing something that will better the world. And in this retrograde, it's again because you saw and you're seeing in this global crisis. It's funny that there's a global crisis and then we're going into 4 retrogrades. Venus, which is the planet of love, I feel, in relationships. Pluto talks about the politics, secret things, death, money, religion. It talks about one's beliefs and, that type of thing. So we're going to be going retrograde April 25th to October 4th, I believe. And then you have Jupiter, which is one's dreams, desires. This is like on a massive scale, beliefs and systems. And, just to me, this is God at his greatest essence when I think of Jupiter. Okay. That will be going into retrograde. I want to say Jupiter goes retrograde May 14th. Okay. And then you have Saturn that will be going retrograde May 11th through September 29th. So that's a good little time too, which talks about challenges in one's life. And a lot of us have faced challenges through this time of pandemic, right? This epidemic. We have faced challenges. So I'm looking at my notes because there's 4 planets and I don't want to forget anything, and I will forget. So yes, you may see me looking down at my notes because I wrote things down here. I had to write things down, beloved, in order for me to remember to stay on task. Okay. So we have 4 planets in retrograde and we're still in a global crisis, right? That's a lot of energy, So I wouldn't be me if I didn't try to share my love, share, my gift to help us through this time, right? So make sure you share these videos, beloved. Make sure you share. Make sure you get your family, your friends to watch the videos and subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to give us a way of truly awakening to this new normal, right? Not saying other people aren't doing it, because we all are doing it in our own way, but definitely giving us information in my way to help us ascend, okay? The next one you have is Windfall. Now, didn't this thing bring on a windfall? Okay. This is things got out of control. Absolutely. Absolutely. When I did the COVID-19 coronavirus video back over 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I talked about the emotional and the chaos and the confusion that this thing brought on to the world. And it had a lot of energy. It was birthed, it was created, and then it was supported, by the vast. It was supported. So it's a lot of strong energy. And I did the COVID-19 coronavirus video. And I said that, at that time, it was going to be anywhere from 9 to 12 weeks. So we had about 7 more weeks to go a few weeks ago. So, and we could even have, I'm thinking, beloved, to be honest with you, June, July, not that we won't be confined. I think that's going to open back up in the next maybe 4 weeks or so. Things will start to really open up in the next 4 weeks. But I feel like we're still going to be operating in a lot of responsibility, where we have to be very cautious, protective, okay, and alert and aware, right? Because this thing has brought on a sense of disaster. It brought on disaster. So with Pluto going in retrograde, it's making us look at things a lot differently in our day-to-day, in our life. Something happened here. We started the year, some of us, I don't know what you did for the new year when the new year came about, but you started the year, you had all these premonitions and plans and dreams and ideas, and then boom, something happened. And it just totally changed everything for everyone, right? For everyone. Windfall, it changed everything for everyone. Then you have Ace of Gabriel. Gabriel is a messenger. This is talking about bringing in new energy. So a gift of passion, opportunity, inspiration, the chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder. Some of you through this crisis, through this Pluto being retrograde, I feel like you're going to be able to think about things that truly can help not just you in a business, but the world, the globe, okay? So I definitely feel like there's something new coming in. You're looking at things differently. This may have awakened things in you, how you do, how you operate. So there's something new that will come about with you, even in this crisis, with Pluto being in retrograde. It will be better for you to make a decision over analyzing a problem, find a compromise. Many of us had to compromise. We didn't have time to try to figure out things. It's like we had to do the best we could with what we had, right? We knew we had a problem. Example, when I went to the store to buy my essentials, most stores didn't have the essentials. And yes, it frustrated me, but I couldn't focus on the problem. I had to figure out a compromise, right? So Pluto going in retrograde, it's going to make us do things a lot differently than what we did. We're going to reevaluate things in our life. We're going to redo things. And if I didn't mention it, I hope you're journaling. So journal this message, because this is a message, and you'll hear me say, for those that follow me on the Awakening Dawn channel, there'll be times when I'm going to talk about journaling. So, and I'm going to talk about it a lot going forward, journaling, because journaling your dreams. I told you to journal if you watch the Venus, which I'll be loading that video up fairly soon. I've recorded the Venus retrograde. I'm talking about it there. I talked about it in the, I started recording the dark side of certain signs, and I want to do all the zodiacs, but I don't think I'm going to load them right now because of everything that's going on right now. Okay. So, but what I wanted to say is there's going to be certain times I'm going to tell you to journal. I said journal your dreams because dreams have a lot of information for you. And a lot of times, if you don't write them down when you dream it, you let days go by and you try to remember, you ain't going to remember everything. Okay. Then you have the strength card. We've had to have strength, faith through this, fighting through, getting through, moving through with force, strength with grace through kindness, self-confidence, and even trying to practice forgiveness. Okay. You also have the Seven of Raphael. Take time to make a decision, be clear on what you want, time to take action, need of detoxification. Some of you may have to change your dieting. Some of you may have gotten sick through this time, and now there's a lot that will change with you in your health. Okay. So maybe you used to do, I know a friend of mine, her fiance during this time ended up having a stroke a couple of days ago, well, last week. And I went to sit with her yesterday morning, had coffee with her yesterday morning, and it's taken a toll on her, it's taken a toll on him because of the social distancing. Of course, she can't even go and see her person. She can only call and check on him, but she cannot see her person. And so, of course, he had other health issues that triggered this stroke. And so now, so she went through the house. It was funny while she was doing it, but it's not funny. It's serious, something that we have to take serious, where she went in through all of the high cholesterol things in the trash can, all his little snacks in the trash can. She's hid the alcohol. So when he comes home, yes, it's a new normal. It's a new dawn. Okay, a new dawn. Absolutely. So detoxification. I feel like Pluto going retrograde with this COVID-19. I also feel like, people are looking at their life a little bit different, maybe doing things a little bit different, especially if, the doctors, CDC, and those that are professionals in the healthcare field industry state that, some of the trigger factors could be those that are not well. You suffer from some type of illness, whether it's diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, whatever it may be. So some of you will start to look at your life differently in this retrograde, in this Pluto retrograde, okay? The next and last one, you have insights that come from quiet meditation, the need of more sleep, a time off to seek release from stress. So believe it or not, even though a lot of us was laid off from our job, some of you have worked really stressful jobs, and this may be a time for you to rest. And some of you, I'm also feeling like you had restless nights during this time. So again, it's going to be about looking at things a lot differently, doing things a lot differently when it comes down to one's fears, one's belief, even how people have been taken away from us, the secrets, how your strengths, your spiritual belief, your political beliefs, all of that has taken a toll in this era. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Pluto going retrograde. Pluto retrograde, April 25th. What would you like for me to share with the people? All right, so in the recent past, we have the Hangman, where this talks about surrendering to the change even when we don't want to. Unwarranted and unwarranted changes. And we have to accept it, right? So I keep referencing to this COVID-19 coronavirus epidemic because during this Pluto retrograde, because we're still in it. And Pluto goes retrograde the 25th of this month. So just a couple more days, 5 more days. I think it's Saturday. It starts moving backwards, retrograde. And so we are in a time where we have to surrender to things that we may not want to surrender to. But we're in that time with the Hangman. Things are at a standstill. Things are in suspense. Things, we may not like it, but we have to go with the flow, so to speak. So with Pluto going backwards, now we're trying to figure out how do we move forward in this crisis. How do we move forward? If I've lost my job, now how and what am I going to do to find another job? Right? What is going to be my base of income? What is going to be my source of income? For some of you, I feel like in this new normal, you're going to see a business idea for yourself. For some of you, you may not want to go back into the profession that you once were in. For some of you, you're not sure what you want to do. For some of you, and I can go on and on and on, but right now it's trying to figure things out, because all we can do is figure things out at this point, right? What's crowning your spread is the 10 of Pentacles. So this is talking about family. This is talking about what's important to you. Family, relationships, your money, okay? Your beliefs. So this is a time, how befitting. So this is a time for you to really think about, what's important to you, what has value. Now that we're in this suspended time with the Hangman, and I gotta get it where you guys can see my cards so that I can show you my cards. I used to do that. I'm going to work on that, so you guys can see the cards as I lay them down, but yet interact with you. But you have the Hangman and you have the 10 of Pentacles. And so it's about now, since we're in this suspended time, all we have is time. And now we need to think about what truly is important. What's important? What truly has value? What truly has value? Protecting our family, loving our family. This thing I feel like will bring families back together. Absolutely. You're going to figure out how better ways to bring in money, save money. Okay. I'm feeling. As Pluto is in retrograde, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So this, I feel like, is my brother's sister's keeper, is what I'm getting. How can I help my brother? How can I help my sister? What can I do now? Not just for me, but for the betterment of the vast. Okay? Because we see that when we need certain things, we can't get certain things. Right? Some of us was trying to make some things. Honey, I'm not a seamstress and was trying to sew a mask together. Yes, I was. Even though I know people that make masks and, all of that. But I'd rather for them to spend that time giving that stuff to people who really, really needed it. Even though I needed it myself as well. So I made my own. And honey, I should have showed y'all, took some pictures of those things. Yes, because I think I have one. So I will take a picture. And that will be the first picture that I will post in the, the comment page. I think it's the comment section. So I will take a picture tonight because I'm going to load this video tonight. It's April 20th. So I will take a picture tonight and I will load it there on the comment page. So if you're watching this video and you go there, you'll see what I made. Yes, honey, it's hideous. But it covered this and this. Honey, I'm going to tell you how I made this, and I'm going to get back to the spread. But, honey, I had stapled the mask together. I sewed the mask together. And I also used safety pins to the mask. Yes, I did. So what I probably will do is... I don't know. I'm gonna take a picture, and I think I'm gonna take pictures and I'll put it there in the comment section for you. I will do that, okay? On my comment page. I think it's called the comment page or the community page. Not comment page, but the community page. So I will put it on the community page so you can see my way of making a mask. That was one out of many, and honey, it was just yes. We're gonna talk about that. I may do a video on this mask making thing. My thing on mask making, and I may just, put it on the community page or put it out there, and if you want to watch it you can, or put it in the description box, and if you want to, that way I can show you the video and let you look inside of the mask. I'll do that. I'm still going to take a picture, but I'm going to do that as well. So back to the reading. So anyway, I do feel like a lot of you in this suspended time, as well as what Pluto is in retrograde, this is a time for you to figure out how to better yourself, how to become more successful, because, many of you lost jobs. Many of you may have even lost family. Many of you didn't have the resources or what you needed to even get through. You just didn't. And so now you're looking at how to stabilize yourself. Pentacles talk about money. It talks about the foundation. It talks about stability. It talks about being practical. It talks about investing. So investing in yourself. So definitely you're investing in yourself in this time. And then you have the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is when we actually go direct, October 4th. So it's like your whole thought process of this situation, of how things affected you with this COVID-19 coronavirus, Pluto going direct right in the next 5 days. Okay, I feel like some of you, your fear has been tested. You've been tested around death, money, secrets. Okay, the test of loved ones, your belief system, your politics, your spiritual beliefs, all things, it has truly brought on an awakening to you. Okay, it has truly brought on an awakening, and this is what a lot of you will be working on during this Pluto going in retrograde. How can I better myself? How can I protect myself? How can I make sure that my family is okay? How can I make sure that my money is okay? My business is okay. Okay, and then you have as the outcome the Page of Cups. This is you pouring into getting things done. Like, how can I get this done? How can I apply myself? How can I be of aid? How can I be of help? So I'm seeing here where you're looking at things a lot differently in your life. You're looking at things a lot differently in your life, how to build, how to manifest, how to create, how to get things done, how to get things rectified for you during this time. So Pluto going direct, it's not a bad thing. It's where you're putting in work, because this coronavirus, this COVID-19 was the bad thing. So it's like coming out of this COVID-19, coming out of the coronavirus, trying to figure out how to make things better for you and your family. And not just you and your family, but for everyone. Okay? One more spread here. And it's like this thing has also brought on a sense of integrity for you, a different type of integrity. You demonstrate the truth, the honesty of your soul, and manifest love with your every action. Like, every action serves a purpose going forward as we go into this this time of Pluto going retrograde. Okay, so in the foundation you have the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups. You have the Knight of Cups. So this is something coming in with force, with passion. I feel like some of you may be more passionate about things. Okay, you may be looking at things a little bit differently, especially situations, people, persons, or whomever that you may not have gotten along with. I also feel like, with Pluto going retrograde, things have turned a little bit tippy-turvy for you. Remember, we had the Windfall. So things have, were a little bit tipsy-turvy for you. And you've tried to keep your composure the best way you could through this crisis, okay? Through this retrograde, it's like trying to get things back in order. What will be blocking you, oh my God, is the devil. Why would this be there? But we're going to rock with it, okay? So it's going to be a struggle, because Pluto deals with harsh things. Pluto does deal with secrets. It deals with the dark things. It deals with religion. It also deals with the things that are sacred, our innermost secrets. It deals with fear. It deals with death. It deals with money. It deals with power. It deals with politics. So for some of you, you may have to look at how this brought out the worst in you. You may need to look at your shadow side. You may need to look at your shallow side. The shadow side is the darker side of oneself. The shallow side is the timid side of oneself. Why were you fearful? Okay, through this crisis, how can you be prepared? So when the next crisis, because this ain't the first crisis, this won't be the last crisis, beloved, okay? What you're moving towards is, I love it, family. Again, I feel like family is so important to you guys. And I can contest to this because, you know, for some of us, you can't see your family. As I said, my friend her fiance had a stroke on last Friday. And not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And she, you know, can't see him. Couldn't see him, still can't see him. She can only talk to him. So I'm sure many of us can relate to that. You know, also during the time of this crisis, how to reconnect with family, how to sometimes crisis brings a sense of putting things back in order. Okay, believe it or not, sometimes crisis bring things back to order. When things are out of control, sometimes crisis brings order. So I feel like where you might have been critical with a loved one or family, now you may look at things a little bit differently with this person. What you need to free yourself from is being a fool. Don't be fooled. Okay, just what the card says, the fool. You need to free yourself from, now the fool often talks about a foolish person on a new quest, new journey, out, you know, on in life, just doing their thing. So let's just say you were one that was just living your life, but you was not prepared. No one can be prepared for a crisis. But again, with this Pluto going direct, it's like you're thinking about things a lot differently now. Things will definitely be different for you. You will be looking at things differently. I feel like you won't be just out there living frivolously. You're going to be thinking about things with integrity, with purpose. Okay. What is your hopes, dreams, desire is getting things back in alignment. The Three of Pentacles. So, maybe even finding work for many of you. For some of you, this is a sacred place. This could be a church, getting back to your church, getting back to your family, getting back to work, maybe even work. So getting back to some sort of where you have something coming in, okay? The outcome to this is a new start of emotion. So I do see where many of you may be apologizing to people. Many of you may be looking at life a little bit differently. I do see when we have the green light to go, when it's ready, set, go, some of you are going to be taking off, trying to make things right, trying to make things better when it comes down to your family. It's like, again, where was the rising above the ashes, okay? Rising above the ashes, also a sense of celebration, free, okay? When we talked about that, rising above the ashes, I feel like, that was one that you got as your oracle card. So I see here where some of you can't wait to get back out there and find a job. You can't wait to get back to your family. During this Pluto retrograde, it's going to make you look at things again, as I said, a lot differently. Your family, your belief systems, how you view politics, how you view your religion, your money, your what might have been important is no longer important. So it's redirecting a lot of things in you and for you that you may have once didn't realize was an issue at one point, but it's going to make you look at things a lot differently. It's definitely going to make you look at things a lot differently, where in life it's just never going to be the way we once lived life, okay, through any of this. So I feel like these planets going retrograde is allowing us to look at things differently and making the efforts to change things in our lives for the better. For the better, right? Making better plans, doing things a lot differently, so that we're not on the bottom. For those that are on the bottom, for those that live well and have well, you may be okay. But for those that struggle, for those that, you want to do things a lot differently, okay? For those that you may not struggle, but this thing has brought on a struggle, right? So there you have it. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you share the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Comment below if you choose to. I love to read your comments, as well as check out the description box, as there's pertinent information in there. And I will take a picture of that mask, and then I probably will do a video and just put it in the description box in May's readings, in the monthly May's readings. So make sure I'll put it in the description box. Check out my mask I made during COVID-19, and we're gonna joke about it. Anyway, be safe, be well, take care.